Yo, welcome to the very first episode here of the Moto Flipper journey. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Jamie. I've been flipping motorcycles now for the majority of my life. I buy them, ride them, and sell them. And the key is always to find the right bike for the right price. That way you can enjoy it for a while and then get a little bit of profit. Today I'm going to break down what has happened so far in this most recent flip. Because this is my first official flip on the channel, and I want to give you the 1 month overview because it's been about 1 month since I started with this bike. So the bike I found was a Yamaha FZ6R. Honestly, didn't know anything about the FZ6R going in. I didn't know anything about the riding mechanics. I didn't know anything about the desirability. I didn't know anything about this bike. All I knew was that when I saw the ad, I thought, that guy's going to give me a good price on that bike. And I was right. I went there and he had it posted for $3,200. When I called him, he's like, I'll take 25. All right, bet. I'm already in the door with the cut down on the price. That's always a good initial reaction. So anyways, I tell him look, man, I'm an hour out. I'll drive to you for the 2,500. Just to look at it. I can't promise that I'll pay 25, but I'll look at it for that price and I'll decide if I like it. We can come up with a deal. And so we go there and I look at it and it's kind of beat up. There's a missing foot peg. The brake reservoir is on backwards, which is weird. It's really dirty. Old boy didn't know how to clean a bike ever. And I couldn't get it to rev all the way out. These bikes are supposed to rev to 12K, and this one only revved to 9 or 10, and then it would stop. I'm pretty confident at this point that it's a fueling issue, but I've actually never messed with the fuel-injected fueling issue before. I've only ever worked with carbureted fueling issues, so I'm really nervous, right? And I expressed to him hey, man, and I recommend this for anybody trying to buy a bike. You're not trying to lowball them, but you are just letting them know where your head's at and what you're willing to pay, right? So I let them know hey, I kind of didn't expect this foot peg to be missing. I didn't expect the damage on the handle grip here. What else aren't you telling me, sort of thing. He had some receipts for a water pump and battery, but who's to say if those are forged or not, right? I just don't trust people. And that's probably what makes me a good bike buyer is I don't trust people, so I just be honest about it, right? So I told him it's not revving out all the way. It's kind of a rough looking bike, but I knew in my head it would clean up nice. So anyways, I tell him all this and I tell him I'll give him $2,000. He's not super happy about the $2,000. So he tries to hit me with 24, 23, and I just didn't want the bike for any more than two. It's not that it's not worth more than two. It's just that I knew how much work would go into this, and I'm not willing to put in that much work for that little profit, if you know what I mean. So I ended up getting it for two. My dad's with me, watching my kids inside of McDonald's while I buy it. We ride it home. I can't get it to rev past the 10K the whole way home, no matter what gear I'm in. And so I start getting to work, right? But before I get into all the work that I put into the bike, I just want to run the numbers by you so that you understand where I'm at this point in the numbers game. So the bike cost me $2,000. To clean it and do some basic maintenance cost me $87. That was air filter, fuel system cleaner, plastics cleaner, and a good wax. That all cost me $87. Registration for the year and insurance for the year cost about $100. That brings my grand total for this bike to $2,187. At least three for this bike. Three is bare minimum. I'm posting it to Craigslist for $4, and then I'm gonna see if I can get 3 to 35. I'm in no rush to sell this thing. It's summer in Arizona, so I know it's not peak selling season. I would bet that I sell this bike somewhere between September and October. Around September to October, I bet I sell this bike for $3,200. That's my prediction right now, being made on 8/12/2026. We'll see how right I am, but that would give me a good little profit, right? And my process here is that I really want you guys to understand what I'm doing here is I'm not making the YouTube channel. I am, but what I'm doing is I'm flipping bikes. I've always flipped bikes, And I just want to share with you like my process and how I get it done so that you can go flip bikes too. Like it's a great way to ride bikes and enjoy bikes. And I get bored easy, you know what I mean? Like I'll be riding a bike for like, oh, I'm honestly kind of already bored of the Yamaha. It sounds great and it's fast and it's fun, but like, I don't know, man, something about a new bike. Like it's the hunt that I love. It's not the eating the meal. It's the getting the meal that I love so much. So yeah, if you guys are like me and you enjoy the hunt too, you enjoy the going to get the bike, you enjoy hearing it for the first time, you enjoy that novelty of like riding a new bike for the first 2 to 3 months and then selling it, like this channel's for you, because that's what I'm doing here is I'm teaching you like how have I done this through the years and like stayed profitable. Like I'm not crazy profitable, right? I mean, making $500 in 3 months is not gonna pay the bills, but what it does do is allow you to ride all these bikes that would love to ride for a little bit of profit, as opposed to like spending your money on a bike and losing money over time, right? Like what if I went and bought a brand new Kawasaki Z900 RS, the retro styling Z900? Okay, freaking awesome bike, has cruise control now, I love that. But I'm gonna be losing money on that bitch, right? What does it cost? Let's see real quick. Okay, so if I went and bought my dream bike, we're looking at 15 grand after tax. And then the average price that I could get for it after about 6 months would be 10, right? That's 6 months and I'm losing 500 to 750 a month, as opposed to my formula, which is buy a bike, ride it for 3 months, make $500. You know what I'm saying? Like that to me just makes so much more sense, that you would want to buy a bike, ride it, enjoy it, sell it for a profit. Buy a bike, ride it, sell it, enjoy it for the process. Rinse, repeat, right? And you know, maybe this is just because I'm a married man. I think if I was single, I would just go buy that bike. But you know, you don't have to be married to be financially savvy. It's a hard world out there right now. Gas prices just keep going up. Please don't ever pay debt for a bike. I'm gonna get off my soapbox right now. I want to apologize if I got a little preachy there. I just don't want to see you guys fall into debt. Now, let's get back into what is the process once you got the bike. What do you got to do to it to get the money? First thing I did here, which thankfully resolved the revving issue, was I cleaned out the airbox and I put a new air filter in there. After I fixed that issue, I detailed the heck out of the bike. I waxed it, I washed it, I put plastic cleaner on all the plastics because they were all sun rotten. I reupholstered the seat, and all of that was like cosmetics, right? So I basically made the bike look good, because if you want to sell a bike, it's got to look good. That's like rule number one, bro. If you sell a bike and it don't look good, that's on you, okay? You're just leaving cash on the table if you don't clean it. That's all I'm saying. Even if it's a turd, you got to polish that turd. But I always make sure that everything's running good. I check the oil. The oil's super clean. I check the radiator cap, and like the fluid looks good in there for the cooling system. And yeah, so I didn't have to do a whole lot to this bike, to be honest, to make it nice. It just was kind of packaged wrong when it was being sold, I guess would be the way that I would put that. Yeah, if I had to nail down what is the Moto Flipper way of life, it is to live in the bike culture without spending money. You know, I'm gonna try and live the next 40 years of my life without ever actually losing money on riding motorcycles. That's really the goal. And I'm doing that through the flipping lifestyle like I have been, but I'm also gonna be able to capitalize on this by branching off into the YouTube sector and making like 2 to 3 month content around a bike, because a lot of the current YouTubers, what they do is they go and they ride a bike for 3 hours, 6 hours, but you really don't get to know a bike in that time. Like the FZ6R, for example, like when I first rode it and I first heard it, I was like, this bike's freaking amazing. Like it was basically a super sport fighter in my mind. But the more that I rode it, the more that I went on long road trips, right? I did a 12-hour weekend on this bike 12 hours of ride time in one weekend, and it got pretty uncomfortable, you know? And in my mind, this was supposed to be a comfortable bike, because when I looked up videos online before I went and looked at the bike, everyone was saying, oh, look, it's an upright seating position. Well, okay, yeah, it is. It really is an upright, but then your nuts are crunched into the tank, you're lean forward just a little bit. There's not a lot of positioning differences that you can do while you're on the bike, right? And it's important to be able to move around to be comfortable. So, like, you gotta move to be comfortable. And that bike doesn't allow for a lot of movement. And that's something that I wouldn't have figured out in a 60-minute, 90-minute, 3-hour ride. You know, you only get to figure these things out when you own a bike for a while. So, basically, I love the owner review genre of YouTube, and I think that is the untapped market of ownership review, is just to be able to buy and sell bikes for a profit. So if you want to follow the journey, please do. I'm gonna keep doing this for at least another 30 years. I'm really loving it, and I'm really just doing what I've always done. It's just that now I'm gonna start recording it for you guys. And yeah, I want to let you guys in on the process, let you in on the knowledge. If you live in Phoenix, we have a great bike market around here. Just a little tidbit before I go of knowledge for you. If you live really anywhere you live, if you live in Phoenix, this applies mainly to you. The bike market here is such that in the summer months when it's really hot, there's amazing deals on motorcycles. Like this bike I picked up on a day that was 115 out. Nobody wants to go look at a motorcycle when it's 115 out. And that's sort of why you can get a good deal, right? The other guy is all like tired and and he just wants to sell it, but nobody wants to come look at it. And then when you sell it during the nice months, right? You sell it in September or October, the weather starts dropping, people start seeing more bikes out and about, and that makes them want to buy a bike. If they've been thinking about it for the last 6 months, they see the bikes around and then they're like, oh man, okay. I'm going to go on Craigslist and look for a bike. That's just the mentality they have. And if you don't live in Phoenix, just apply that concept to your market, right? So yeah, that's the whole video. I got to be totally honest. I didn't think of a way to end this. So I'm just going to put a little bit of footage of this bike revving, and I hope you enjoyed the video and I hope you got some use out of it. See ya.